Hello everybody, sorry I haven't been able to make videos lately. As you can see, I have moved house. Yes, I'm in student accommodation for my next year of university, even though it doesn't start until September, I don't think, which is annoying because they start the contract now. Whatever, doesn't matter. But understandably that's made me quite busy, and I haven't been able to make videos. But I'm making one now. You see, a while ago I made a video wherein I pretended to be an American attempting a British accent. And when this American attempted a British accent, I did my own accent. And a lot of people fell into my little trap with some very interesting comments about my British accent. By the way, when I say British accent, I only mean English accent because there's no such thing as Scotland or Wales. But before I move on to the hilarious comments, I feel I just have to give you some context about my actual accent in order to comprehend the full hilarity of said comments. So here we go. I always say that I'm from Nottingham. That's not strictly true. I'm actually from Nottinghamshire. People who are from the city of Nottingham talk like this. They're gonna go and get a burger from the city. It's part of my identity, because I'm from Notts. It's a really fucking ugly, disgusting accent. I'm from Nottinghamshire, the county of Nottinghamshire, wherein Nottingham is the capital. Now when I lived with my parents, I lived right on the edge of Derbyshire. I was on the border between Nottinghamshire and Derbyshire, and my father's side of the family is actually from Derbyshire, meaning I do have a slight Derbyshire influence on my accent. On top of all that, I've actually lost a lot of the characteristics that define a Nottinghamshire accent. When I go back to Nottinghamshire and I'm hanging around with my parents, and especially my dad's side of the family, I do revert back into that kind of northern East Midlandsy drawl. But the accent you're hearing now is kind of diluted. Ever since I started trying to improve my vocabulary and pronunciation, I seem to have lost the real characteristic traits of a Nottinghamshire accent. But like I said, I do slip back into it. Like for instance, when I'm talking particularly fast, I'll say Dan instead of down. And I do classify myself as northern, because I don't say path, laugh or grass. I say path, laugh and grass. I don't sound southern at all. And even though I do classify myself as northern, I'm not properly northern. I'm not a born and bred Yorkshireman or a Mancunian. Basically my accent is a general Nottinghamshire, East Midlandsy accent, with a very slight influence from Derbyshire. So now that you understand that, let's move on to the actual comments. First of all, we've got the group of people that actually recognised that my British accent was really fucking good, because it is a real British accent. It's actually really good. No joke, it's more Midlands. That's because I'm from the Midlands. Very good. That's good. I'm British and some people just overdo it, sounding all posh. Yours is very good. Thank you! That was good. Best one. It better be, because it's a real British accent. But then we move on to the people who in varying degrees of severity were snared by my devilish trap. We'll start off with the people who only got it wrong just a little. What accent is that? The thing about England is that it's heavily regional. I mean, I myself am a Geordie. That means this person is from Newcastle. The accent was good, but it doesn't have the Thatcher Southern sound and does not have a northern sound, probably because I'm from the Midlands. So I'm not sure what about it is good. Then again, most accent attempts tend to be a southern near London. The way you said tea and queen was spot on like. Sorry, let me say that in a Geordie accent. The way you said tea and queen was spot on like. Wasn't perfect, but you get the idea. Geordie accents are fucking horrible. Moving on, we've got the people who genuinely thought that I slipped up on my British accent. It was better than most people's, but I could still really hear the American in it. No, you couldn't. Despite a few slips, it's very passable to someone who doesn't already know better. What slips? It's a pretty good accent. You only sound the slightest bit off, but nothing no one would notice. Nothing no one would notice? That's a double negative, my friend. So not only are you an idiot, you're also bad at grammar. How does that feel, retard? A bit of a mix-up of various British accents, though the I'm and the were both definitely still American when you say it. No, they weren't. Imagine if a Brit mixed up an accent with Texan and New Jersey and a posh New Englander. Each might sound okay, but it's not convincing together. Now I know what it's like for an Englishman to be condescended to. I'll never do a British accent again. Clearly it could be good, but pick a particular British accent and make it consistent. If you want a model for an intelligent British accent, you can't go wrong with Stephen Fry or Hugh Laurie. Thanks, moron! This next one is kind of odd. Not great at the start, but then sounds northern enough to pass. So at the start of my authentic English accent, I apparently sounded American, but then I started to sound northern. Does sound a bit southern. Isn't proper posh, though Cornish maybe. Cornish? Are you fucking serious? I'd say if you really want to sound British, try mimicking Ozzy Osbourne prop easier. Just put on a cranky voice mixed with this accent, and you will sound like a true British northerner. So if I talk like I'm from Birmingham, I'll sound like a true British northerner. Bullshit, you're a knob. It's pretty good, but it sounds like a stereotypical English accent of people who live in 18th to 20th century London, or the Cockney accent as we call it. It isn't a bad thing, but some might criticise you for it. I sounded Cockney? What a load of shit. I did not sound Cockney at all. I don't sound like Michael fucking Caine. Your accent's not too strong to start off with, so you're not bad. Your accent was good, with undertones of upper class. So all in all, not a bad effort. You gotta be shitting me. So I decided to ask in this accent, was it perfect? And they responded with, almost, it's very neutral so you would pass for British easily. But British accents seem to be heavily affected by the region the person is from. Therefore my accent from Gloucestershire would be very different from someone's accent from Liverpool, for example. Okay, I'm going to finish this comment in a Liverpudlian accent. That said, I should imagine your accent is what British is like, without a regional accent on top. Did that make any sense? No. That made no sense whatsoever. You are talking out your arse. I like it. I'm English and that was really good. It wasn't too strong, as in how you would expect a member of the royal family to talk, which is a very good thing. Awesome. Tip. Try different British accents. You've got the post accent down. I imagine they mean posh accent, so let's give her the benefit of the doubt, and assume that she doesn't mean post, she means posh. So apparently I have the posh accent down. Try a West Country accent. They are much more fun. What, you mean like the Ginger Man off a Time Team? Not bad, just slow down a little bit, you're slightly too fast. It was very typical middle-class London accent. No, it wasn't. I do not have a very typical middle-class London accent. Try doing a different regional accent, like mine. Yorkshire. You're from fucking Yorkshire, are you daft bastard? It was okay. Sounded a bit like something from a Hugh Grant film. Lol. Fuck you. We are not posh! Seriously, we are not posh, for God's sake! Arr. Jesus, settle down, Captain Oh My Sausage! Then I got the occasional person who was just so wrong, they deserve, I don't know, the chair. That was terrible. Sounded more Australian than anything. I'm not even particularly sure whether this one is serious. Now, my Australian accent isn't perfect, but at least it's decent enough to illustrate the difference between this accent and my actual accent. Again, not sure if this person is actually serious. This person is either A, mentally retarded, B, my brother being an arsehole to annoy me, or C, both. I'm gonna guess and say C. And so finally we have the tips that I was given. The user Spank the Monkey gave me this gem. Pronounce the T like an eh more. Not British, because in a lot of American accents they pronounce D's and T's exactly the same, such as the word British for instance. They pronounce it British, with a D. Or take for instance the word butter, with a D. Now just for the purposes of this exercise, let's assume that there is a word called better. B-E-D-D-E-R. I'm not saying it is a word, but we're just using it as a word to illustrate my point. In a lot of American accents, better and better would be pronounced exactly the same. Better, 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 better. You get the picture. So I'm not supposed to pronounce it British with a D, but I'm not even supposed to pronounce it with a T. I'm supposed to leave the T out entirely and pronounce it British. Not better, better. Now say, British is always better than English. Is my channel like flypaper for morons? Last of all, it sounds like you're approaching Nottingham from the direction of Dick Van Dyke. Maybe you could slide the vowel at the end of specifically a bit more forward and towards the I sound. Specifically? Basically that entire video seemed to prove to me that people always like to think that their accent is really hard to do. Like their accent is uniquely difficult. So in many cases, no matter how authentic the accent is, in my case 100% authentic, people are always gonna nitpick. Because people are stupid. Thanks a lot everyone, especially to my subscribers in the UK. Fucking love you guys. Gotta go guys. I've got to go to church.